Good afternoon. My name is Tracy. I work here at Belbin, and I'm joined this afternoon by my soon-to-be ex-colleague, which is quite sad, Fenlan Miller. Fen's been on secondment with us here at Belbin in Cambridge for the last 3 months, and he's been doing some amazing work with us. And one of the things he's done is introduce us to the Armed Forces Covenant. So I'd like to take this opportunity to invite Fen to tell us a little bit more about that. So Fen, just to kick us off, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to working here with Belbin, I was working with Sabre and Belbin Australia. So that's a team and leadership company that run corporate events for government defence groups. And we use Belbin tool to sort of facilitate that better understanding of the team stuff. So that's how I came to be working here and had the fantastic experience working the last 4 months.
That's great to hear.
Concurrent to that, I was also a member of the Army Reserves since I left high school. So the Reserves in Australia is a very flexible sort of way of doing military service. It means you can study, work concurrently to what I'm doing. So I was working as a platoon commander within the infantry, a role which I thoroughly enjoy and I'm still a part of now. So when I do return back to Australia, I look forward to sort of picking that back up, as well as picking up the work back with Sabre and Belbin too. So even though I'm leaving here now, I'll still be here in spirit.
Oh, that's great to hear. It's been great to have you here in the last 3 months. And hearing about your military experience, that does explain some of the language that you use. So it's quite interesting hearing that sort of language alongside the Belbin team language, of course. So that's been really interesting working with you from that point of view. So Fen, Armed Forces Covenant, that's what I'd like to talk to you today. So why is it important, or what is it, and also why do you think it's important for organisations to consider signing up to it?
Yeah, sure. So the Armed Forces Covenant, essentially here in the UK, is a promise from the nation as a whole that recognises the truly unique nature of military service, right? It is a really unique organisation in the sense that there is not many sort of parallels to the corporate world with how it's structured, with the task that the armed forces are charged with. And essentially what that does is it means transitioning out of that role into civilian employment can be quite difficult when it's so jarring. So the Armed Forces Covenant aims to recognise that unique nature and promises to not treat anyone within the armed forces community, so reservists, veterans, military families, any differently to anyone else within the community. And at times as well, it's important to mention offering that additional support where it may in fact be needed, which I think is a really good addition. So what companies can do is they can sign the covenant, and a really beautiful aspect of it is that companies can make their own individual pledges as to how they will help the community based on their industry, based on how much they can and cannot contribute, for example. So it's really quite a modular document that allows companies to really be specific with how they want to support the community as a whole. So I think it's quite important for companies to sort of consider how they might be able to help out and lend a hand in this.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people that will be able to benefit from companies signing up to this, isn't there?
No, absolutely. A lot of scope for that.
And you sort of touched on some of the practical things there that organisations can do, but how do you think Belbin will be able to help veterans as they move into a different work environment?
Yeah, so I think you kind of sort of touched on it there when you're talking about the military language maybe mixed with some of the Belbin language.
Okay.
And as a reservist, I kind of step in and out of both worlds. However, for people who've existed within the military for extended, illustrious careers, it is such a unique language and it's such a unique set of skills and technical qualifications that may not necessarily be able to directly translate to the civilian world. What Belbin does is it provides a common language that can sort of bridge the gap between the military language and skill sets and the civilian skills that employers in the civilian market are looking for.
Makes sense.
Belbin is, I think, quite uniquely positioned to actually give a lot of support for that career transition process. And there are some fantastic armed force community groups out there that are already doing some wonderful work in actually helping veterans find not only a job, but the job, I think is one of the terms I heard that I really quite liked. So I think Belbin has an opportunity from the behavioural contribution style and using the Belbin team roles as a base to allow people from the military community and the armed force community to really articulate their strengths, their associated weaknesses, and I think most importantly, the kind of work they feel they're most suited to, or indeed what their behaviours make them most suited to.
Fantastic.
And I think the next natural progression of that was Belbin signing the Armed Forces Covenant and sort of making that pledge to continue to look for opportunities to develop our understanding of how we can best help and start to really find ways to position ourselves within the wider community as a whole.
Fantastic. Well, we're just waiting for the final bits of paperwork to confirm that Belbin signed up for the Armed Forces Covenant. So as soon as that is all done and dusted, as it were, we will be showcasing that on the Belbin website where everybody can find more details. And we'll certainly be keeping you up to date with the progress and the follow-ups and that as well.
Yes, absolutely. I feel quite invested now. So
definitely are. So we will keep going with that. And just to say, we wish you all the very best back home in Australia, and we very much hope to see you again next year, hopefully.
Oh, I very much hope the same. So thank you very much, and best of everything to hear as well.
Thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Fen.
Cheers.